Hello YouTube, I'm back again. Today I want to talk about movies. You know, it's been pretty bad out there for a few days. I think it rained like 15 out of 17 days up here and had some flooding around the area and stuff like that. So it wasn't too much I could do outside. I'm working in the garden out there. Started a little urban garden. And so most of the time I spent inside the house, and I've been watching movies, and I noticed something that you can learn things from movies. You know what I mean? Like the movie I want to talk about today is home invasion and lockdown movies. Okay, so let me get straight into the movies. Okay, now everybody have probably seen the Purge movies. I know this is only 3 of the 4. I don't have the original movies. But you can learn something from the Purge and those movies like that during a time of civil unrest. See, what happened in the Purge movies is basically that the government decided to save money and have one night out of the year where everybody can just go out and commit any crime without any repercussion, including murder. So that's how they could trim the herd, as I like to say. Kill off people. That way, if you kill them off, you don't have to pay their hospitalization or whatever they got to do. But it turned out that a lot of people wasn't killing enough, so the government in the Purge movies basically was behind the whole thing, and they would send out death squads and kill people and stuff like that. But what I wanted to talk about in those Purge movies that I learned is that you can fortify your homes. You take like the first Purge, a lot of people living in apartment buildings, even though it didn't work against the government. They had everything locked down and fortified. Some guys had stuff really tightened up. And then in the other Purge movies, like the original, this guy was selling the stuff, the lockdown equipment and stuff, roller shutters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and that was pretty good. He was selling it to a neighbor to making a fortune, but they got mad and killed him off. See, it's a lot of spoilers in this, so like I said, I'm not gonna really talk too long. But the Purge movies are good. You can learn something from the Purge. You can watch how people were doing things as far as locking down they place where they were at. Okay, another one that I wanted to show you is this one right here. You're Next. Now, I really enjoyed this movie right here. This one was in the English countryside. Family of 10 got together for the annual mother and father anniversary, and it turned out that one of them wanted to kill off everybody else in the family for the inheritance. And so this one guy brought this date, and he didn't know that she was like from Australia, living in. She was raised in the outback, and she knew a lot of different things and stuff, like how to make booby traps and how to use a bow and arrow and all that kind of stuff. So it sort of altered the plans of the guys that this guy had hired, which were paramilitary guys that was out there to kill her family. Yeah, so she did pretty good. And like I said, what I really liked was she booby trapped the house, and she had everything set up where if them guys come in, they're gonna really get hurt. And that's another thing. As long as you keep the bad guys out your house, you got a great chance of winning. Once they get inside, you got a whole box of scrambled eggs, because things are gonna go bad fast. So you want to definitely keep the bad guy out. So you do what you can to keep him out. You can do like a Home Alone type thing with Macaulay Culkin, where you plant a lot of booby traps around the house. Nails and the sticks and stuff like that. Razor blades on the banisters. All kinds of crazy stuff. You can even go buy booby traps. See, but I can't tell you to do that because, see, in Ohio, it's illegal to do booby traps. So we just can't do it. But when and you heard me say this before, but when all bets are off and everything go crazy, you do what you can to survive. Okay, now my last movie, see, I don't really want to talk too much because I don't really have a lot to say. I'm just showing you some movies that I watched over the last 17 days because the weather was bad and I couldn't do too much. And this one right here, Don't Breathe. Now, actually, in that one, I found myself rooting for the bad guy. guys, I should say, because most home invasions, it's not going to be just one person. I look for you to look for 3 or more. I'm not even going to say 1 or 2. Now it's 3 or more, because I told you about the zombies, and zombies are doing home invasions around here, and it's never 1. It's either 3 or more. So when you feel that you hear a noise that going bump in the night and you think somebody's trying to get in your house, expect more than 1. So, you know, be prepared. If you got a nightstand gun, make sure you got an extra magazine with you when you go, because you never know how many rounds you might have to fire to get the person away. Or if you got a shotgun, make sure you have extra shells with it. So anyway, like I was saying about this Don't Breathe movie, that was this one right here. You were really like that. I mean, because it shows you how a disabled person can do. I mean, even though I think the guy was crazy, he was off his rocker. He was really a little sick. He had his place set up. He had a big dog. He had booby traps. He had keyless doors where you got to have a key to get out the door. He had an alarm system. He had his basement secured and like a dungeon down there. It was crazy. It was a very good movie. I don't really want to spoil it because I know a lot of people haven't seen that movie. It's not a horror movie. It's like kind of an Alfred Hitchcock type movie to me. It was very good. But anyway, he was a disabled veteran. He was blind. He was a Vietnam era veteran, and he got a big settlement. They posted it in the paper. Vietnam vet get like $750,000, and these 3 people wanted to go in there and take this money, and that's how it all started. They went in this home, and once they were in there, it was no way to get out. Like I said, I found myself rooting for the bad guys, which was crazy. But you had to watch the movie. But that's all I wanted to talk about. I mean, I didn't have too much to say. I just said that you could learn from movies. You know, you could be watching something like I watched on HBO the other day, Death Wish 3. And I learned something about what you could do to secure your windows. I was watching that. It was kind of crazy. But I like Charles Bronson. He's one of my favorites. All right, then. Thank you, YouTube.